that took a bit longer than normal. But the key about this afternoon is for me to be able to thank especially all of you, my colleagues that I play with each Monday. When I told you about the idea that I had about putting on a function to raise awareness and some funds in the aid of cancer, a very personal friend of mine, my colleague Marshal, who died at the age of 41 because of colon cancer. We shared a house for 13 of the 15 years that we played together in England. And when I saw what Australia was doing, the wife of one of their cricketers, Glenn McGrath, who died from breast cancer, to date they've raised over $15 million. In England, the wife of Andrew Strauss, another England cricketer, they've raised over £12 million. But there's nothing in the Caribbean. If you consider that Sir Frank Worrell, the first West Indian to captain the West Indies cricket team back in the 1960s, in fact, the first black Caribbean national. He died from leukemia, blood cancer, back in 1962. Malcolm Marshall, my personal friend and the best cricketer, the best fast bowler the world would have seen, died at the age of 41 because of colon cancer. And I saw what was happening. Maybe I didn't see what was happening, but I knew he had challenges because living with the guy each day for 6 months, when he couldn't get out of bed and talked about he had problems with his stomach and couldn't travel with the team, we thought maybe it's upset stomach, but it turned out it was colon cancer. Today, Malcolm would be proud of all of you that you would have supported the initiative that Anguillians who would suffer from colon cancer, that personnel in Anguilla who will suffer from colon cancer, at least there's some help. I know of a mother whose son died at 29, and she's left with a $40,000 US bill just from the hospital. That's apart from what she has to pay. I might sound a bit long-winded, but the fact is, I really want to thank all of you for making it possible. To Scott and Richard and Nick and these guys who, they're the ones who helped to make it happen. When I brought the idea to Richard and to Scott, they say, Carter, we'll do it ahead of time and see what we can learn from it. So back in 2022, we had some cricketers come in, Darren Samuel, Richard Richardson, both who couldn't make it on this trip. But I thank all of you. And in the Anguillan, I'm going to give a list of the names, because if I started calling the names, we'll be here for another hour. But all of you who've contributed, those, where's Michelle Soons, who could not play, but because he was in St. Martin, but he donated his $235, so a young Anguillan, Magda, the daughter of Lloyd Gums, was able to play on that course on that day. So we thank him for that. We also thank Bob Seamus, again, who did the same. But I think that there's a gentleman at the end of the bar. And where's my colleague? Where's Mark? Is Mark still here? Yeah, they can boast that they won because they said they only had about 50 yards out. Because a 14-year-old from Antigua, again, who Michelle Soons paid to come to Anguilla 2 years ago, because the idea was we wanted to show a young golfer could do. I wish I could do what this 12-year-old could do. But the fact is, again, it's people like you who I thank so much indeed. And there are those who couldn't play but still supported. Today, I want to be able to the Anguilla Cancer Society, to a check of $3,000 US. Let's do that one. Yeah. Good. All right, and Malcolm was a cricketer before he suffered with cancer. So I think that Malcolm would also be very proud that $2,000, 2,000 US dollars, goes to the Anguilla Cricket Association for the development of youth cricket here in Anguilla. Thanks. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, colleagues, again, I'll give the list to the Anguillan. I see the gentleman next to. I'm looking at you. To Rick and Mary. Again, people like you guys, I thank you so much. To Millie, to everybody, in fact. The problem is when you start calling names, you get into trouble. But if I don't mention Jackie Ruwan, I get into trouble. So Jackie Ruwan, I thank you so much. And the beautiful Doc, again, for all that you've done to help. Yeah. And again, my partner behind, Jace, come forward. Come forward. Come forward. Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you. Richard and Nick, sorry for stealing the glory tonight, but I thank you guys so much for the support that you've given. Yeah? You want to say something? All right. Yeah,
Okay, a pleasant good afternoon, everyone.
Quiet, please.
Pleasant good afternoon. On the behalf of the Anguilla Cancer Society, I want to say...
It's just not working.
It's not working?
Just speak. Just speak.
Okay, on the behalf of the Anguilla Cancer Society, I want to say a big thank you to everyone, because at the end of the day, I always say cancer is everybody's business. Even as a person in health, we have... oh, use it? Oh, sorry. I missed that over. On the behalf of the Anguilla Cancer Society, I want to say a big thank you to everyone. Cancer is everybody's business, and we need to realize that cancer has no name, it has no face, and it could affect each and every one of us. Even as a person that works in health, we had a colleague that died from colon cancer. Actually affected by colon cancer. Also, I know another 30-something years old, but she's affected by stage 4 colon cancer. Wow. So this is serious. So really want to say a big thank you, because as we all know that cancer is very expensive. Medical insurance. So a big thank you to Mr. Cardigan Connor and his team that made it possible for us to receive this donation. I want to say a big thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I wear two hats. I'm Vice President of the Cancer Society and President of the Anguilla Cricket Association. You're looking at someone who was 20 years a prostate cancer survivor. All right. Thank you. And just briefly to underscore how important is your efforts are, all of you, Cardi, Richard, Scott, and all you lovely folks here, to have given of your time, those who have been so generous to pay for the young chap to come here to play, and for Lois to be involved in giving them an opportunity to be golfers of the future. But more importantly, you, the supporters, who have contributed so voluntarily of your resources. It means a lot to us from the Cancer Society. There are so many people, bottom of my heart. We thank you profusely for your contribution. To assisting those who are unfortunate persons. Again, this contribution is part of, ties in pretty well with the Cricket Association.
Okay, so we're just going to wrap up about now. And I just want to say, as I wear many hats, I'm a doctor. Firstly, President, Madam President, thank you for being here. And I am friends with Mr. Cardigan Connor, and when he called me to be a part of this initiative, of course, I said yes. And it was my utmost joy to be involved in this project, to bring in awareness for cancer, not just breast cancer, because persons will call me the pink doctor, because I am the person that goes above and beyond for breast cancer. But as President Geneva said, cancer is everybody's business. It doesn't matter what kind of cancer it is. Thank you to each and every person that came out. A couple weeks ago, Percy started at the Lobster House with a wonderful reception, and then we came here for a lovely day of, well, I only dressed the part. I did not play any golf. And then we ended the evening at the wonderful Tipsy Turtle. So thank you very much for all the funds we raised, and thank you for coming out this evening to give a round of applause to everybody that made this venture possible. Aurora, thank you.
Folks, we've come to the end of this brief presentation from the Malcolm Marshall Cancer Benefit, where they donated cash donations to the Cricket Association and the Cancer Association.